6,000 miles from home. Wrong country, wrong war, wrong everything. April 1945. Berlin is surrounded by Soviet tanks. The Third Reich is in its final death throes. And somewhere in the rubble of the Charlottenburg district, a Japanese man is holding a rifle. He doesn't know how to use it, waiting to die defending a city he never wanted to see. His name is Hiroshi Takahashi. He's 28 years old. He's from Osaka. He was supposed to be a diplomat, not a soldier. He was supposed to go home when the war ended. Instead, he's writing one last letter to a family that will never receive it, explaining how he ended up here, in the most absurd place a Japanese man could possibly be in 1945. My name is Thomas, and I've spent years tracking down letters that were never delivered, words that were never read, last messages from people who died in places that made no sense. This is one of those letters. If you want to understand how war puts people in impossible situations, then subscribe to Letters from Wars right now and turn on notifications. Because this story will show you that the real tragedy of war isn't dying for your country. It's dying 6,000 miles away for someone else's country, because circumstances trapped you. Hiroshi Takahashi was born in Osaka in 1917. His father owned a successful textile business. The family was comfortable enough to send their only son to Tokyo Imperial University. He studied engineering. He graduated in 1939 and was commissioned as a junior officer, not because he wanted to be a soldier, but because university graduates were being automatically commissioned. As Japan's war with China expanded and they needed educated officers for technical manuals. In 1941, Takahashi was selected for what seemed like the best possible assignment. He was posted to Berlin as an assistant military attaché. This was a diplomatic posting. His job was to attend functions, observe military technology, file reports, and stay out of trouble. When he left Japan in July 1941, his mother cried and told him to come home safe. He told her not to worry, that he was going to the safest posting in the entire army. Berlin in 1941 was still confident. Takahashi's letters talk about opera and museums. He wrote about learning German, about the architecture, how organized everything was. The invasion of the Soviet Union had just begun, and most people thought it would be over by winter. He sent photographs of himself in dress uniform at embassy parties. Everything was interesting. By 1943, the letters had changed. More about bombing raids, wondering when he could come home. By 1944, the letters mentioned evacuation plans. By early 1945, those plans became real. Most of the embassy staff was evacuated in February 1945. Takahashi was supposed to be there. Records are unclear. Some say he stayed to destroy documents, others that he simply missed it. What we know is that by April 1945, when Soviet forces reached Berlin, Hiroshi was still there. The German government had mobilized the Volkssturm, every male between 16 and 60. This included foreign nationals who hadn't evacuated. Takahashi was given a rifle and an armband. They had no Japanese insignia. He was assigned to a defensive position in Charlottenburg. On April 28, 1945, sitting in the basement of an apartment building, Hiroshi wrote his last letter. Soviet soldiers found it on his body 2 days later. It was written on the back of a military form. The letter wasn't discovered until 1995. This is what he wrote to his father, mother and sisters. I am writing this knowing you will never read it. There is no postal service. The city is surrounded. But I write because I need to tell someone what is happening to me, even if it is only an idea. I am in Berlin. I do not think I ever told you I was still here. The war has found me. I was supposed to leave months ago. The reasons are complicated. Now there is nowhere to go. Father, you told me once that a man's duty is to do what circumstances require, even if no sense. There is no honor in this. I am not defending Japan. I am here because I failed to leave. The man to my left is 17 years old. He should be in school. The man to my right is 56. He has arthritis so bad he can barely hold his rifle. We are people with bad fortune. The boy asked why a Japanese officer was fighting for Germany. I told him I am simply here. Being here means holding this position until we cannot hold it anymore. Mother, I think about home constantly. I think about the sound of summer cicadas, the smell of rice cooking, walking through Osaka on a spring evening when cherry blossoms fall. I think about the shrine where we would go for New Year's and the incense smoke, the way the smoke would rise in the cold air. I am 6,000 miles from those things. I do not fear death itself. I fear dying this far from home with no one to pray for me. I fear you will wait years for a letter that will never come and imagine me alive. When I'm already gone, that fear is worse than anything the Soviets can do to me. Hiroshi died on April 30th. His body was buried in a mass grave that remains unmarked today. History is made of grand movements, but it is felt in the small, impossible tragedies of men. Thank you for listening to this letter. Never forget the human cost behind the maps. Join us next time for another story from the archives. This was Letters from Wars. To my sisters, I am sorry I will not see you marry. I am sorry I will not meet your children. Tell them about their uncle if you wish, but tell them I died honorably. The truth, that I died in a basement in Berlin for no reason at all, is too sad to burden anyone with. I can hear the artillery getting closer. The building shakes with each explosion. The boy next to me is crying. The old man is praying in German. I do not cry and I do not pray, because I do not know what to cry for or pray to. I am simply here, waiting for what comes next. If somehow this letter reaches you, know that I thought of you at the end. Know that I missed home every day I was away. And know that I am sorry for dying so far away, in a place that means nothing to me, for a cause I do not believe in. This is not how I wanted my life to end. But war does not care what we want. Please remember me as I was, not as I am now. Remember the son who left for university. Remember the brother who brought sweets home from Tokyo. Do not remember the man writing this letter in a ruined city 6,000 miles from home. That man is already gone. The letter stops there. No signature stamp, no formal closing, just those words written in the last hours of his life. 2 days later, on April 30th, 1945, Soviet artillery destroyed the position where Takahashi and his unit were defending. Most of them died. The Soviet soldiers who overran the area found a Japanese man in a German militia armband, dead from artillery fragmentation, with a letter in his pocket that no one could read. If you've made it this far in this video and you're thinking about what it means to die somewhere you never wanted to be, for reasons you don't understand, hit that like button and share this with someone who needs to understand that war is fundamentally absurd. Takahashi's letter isn't about bravery or sacrifice, it's about being trapped. Share this video, leave a comment about what this letter means to you, because these stories matter and they need to be told. What devastates me about this letter is the apologizing. He's apologizing for things that aren't his fault. I'm sorry I didn't leave. I'm sorry I'm dying far from home. I'm sorry you'll never know what happened to me. This is what war does to people. It puts them in impossible situations, and then they apologize for being there as if they had any choice. Look at how he describes his duty. His father told him that duty means doing what circumstances require, even when those circumstances make no sense. And here he is, fulfilling that duty in the most senseless way possible. There is no strategic value in defending Berlin in April 1945. The war is lost, everyone knows it's lost, but he stands at his post anyway, because he's a soldier and that's what soldiers do, even when it's pointless. The letter mentions the 17-year-old boy next to him who asked why a Japanese officer was defending Berlin. Takahashi's answer is the most honest thing anyone ever said about war. I am not fighting for Germany. I am simply here, and being here means holding this position. That's it. No grand ideology, no noble cause. Just, I am here, so I do what being here requires. 2 days later, that boy and Takahashi were both dead, killed by artillery from an army that didn't know they existed and wouldn't have cared if they did. The things he misses are what break me: cicadas, rice cooking, cherry blossoms in spring, light in the shrine. These are not grand things. These are the small, ordinary details of home that you never think about until you're 6,000 miles away and dying. He doesn't miss Tokyo or important places or significant events. He misses the sound of summer insects and the smell of cooking rice. That's what dying far from home really means. Missing the small things you took for granted. The letter was found by a Soviet officer named Dmitry Volkov, who happened to speak Japanese because he'd been a language officer before the war. Volkov translated the letter and included it in his report with a note that said, "Found on deceased Japanese male, approximately 30 years old, cause of death artillery fragmentation. Letter addressed to family. Contents personal, no military intelligence value. Filed for record." That was it. Takahashi died and became a line in a Soviet after-action report. His family never received official notification. Japan listed him as missing. His mother lit incense every day at the family shrine and prayed for him to come home. She did this for 14 years until she died in 1959, never knowing that her son had died in Berlin in 1945. His father died in 1963, also never knowing. His sisters eventually accepted he was gone, but they didn't know where or how or why. In 1995, a Russian historian named Pavel Antonov was researching Soviet military archives for a book about the Battle of Berlin. He found Takahashi's letter in a box of translated documents that had been filed and forgotten for 50 years. Antonov contacted the Japanese embassy in Moscow. By 1995, everyone who had known Hiroshi Takahashi personally was dead. The embassy located a nephew, the son of one of Takahashi's sisters, who had never met his uncle. That nephew received the letter his uncle had written 50 years earlier. The nephew, whose name was Kenji Matsumoto, gave an interview to a Japanese newspaper in 1996 after donating the letter to the Osaka Peace Museum. He said, "My mother told me stories about her brother, who went to Germany and never came back. She said he was probably killed in the bombing, that he died with honor serving Japan. She never knew the truth. I'm glad she never knew. The truth is too sad. My uncle died defending the Nazis because he was trapped in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's no honor in that. There's just tragedy." The letter is now in the Osaka Peace Museum, next to a photograph of Hiroshi Takahashi in his dress uniform at a diplomatic reception in Berlin in 1942. He's smiling in the photograph. He looks young and confident and completely unaware that 3 years later he'll be dead in a basement holding a rifle he doesn't know how to use. Here's what I want you to understand about this letter. Takahashi died 5 days before Germany surrendered. 5 days. If he had hidden in a basement for 5 more days, if he had surrendered to the Soviets, if he had thrown away his rifle and run, he might have survived. He might have been repatriated to Japan after the war. He might have gone home to Osaka and married and had children and lived a normal life. But he stood at his post because that's what soldiers do, and he died for absolutely nothing. The 17-year-old boy next to him died too. So did the 56-year-old man with arthritis. The Soviets didn't even know there was a Japanese man in that position. They were just shelling a grid reference on a map. Takahashi became a statistic in someone's artillery effectiveness report. That's how war works. It takes people and puts them in impossible places, and then it kills them and no one even notices, because there are so many other people dying in so many other impossible places. That's how war works. It takes people and puts them in impossible places, and then it kills them, and no one even notices, because there are so many other people dying in so many other impossible places. Hiroshi Takahashi's letter sits in a museum in Osaka, where maybe a few hundred people see it every year. Most of them don't read the full translation. They look at the photograph of the young man in uniform, they read the placard that says Japanese officer died defending Berlin 1945, and they move on to the next exhibit. But if you read the letter, if you actually read what he wrote in those final hours, you understand something about war that history books don't teach you. War doesn't just kill people, it traps them 6,000 miles from home in situations that make no sense, and forces them to die there apologizing for things that weren't their faults. That's the real cost of war, not the numbers, not the statistics, but the fact that somewhere in the ruins of Berlin in April 1945, A man from Osaka was writing a letter about missing the sound of cicadas, knowing he would die before anyone could read it. If this letter changed how you think about war, if it made you understand something you didn't understand before, leave a comment telling me what you took from it. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this story, because as long as we remember Hiroshi Takahashi, as long as we read his words and think about what they mean, he's not just a forgotten casualty in a Soviet report. He's a man who missed home and died too far away to ever go back. And that matters. That will always matter. Hiroshi Takahashi, born Osaka 1917, died Berlin, April 30th, 1945, age 28. Body never identified, buried in mass grave location unknown. Letter discovered 50 years later, now preserved in Osaka Peace Museum. Never forget, this was the story of Hiroshi Takahashi.